What is up, Nerf Nation? It's your boy Normatico, and I am back with another blaster review. Today we're going to be reviewing a product straight from the land of China, and it is a knockoff of a Chinese-designed blaster. You know, some people like to say in the hobby that China's the land of IP theft, but in this case, I think it's okay because they're not knocking off an American product. It's from another Chinese manufacturer. We are going to be looking today at the Goldenball Battle Sage. Yes, what exactly is a Battle Sage? I don't know, but I'll tell you that this product, the box, really nice. I like it. It's sturdy, and yeah, it's neat. But that being said, the Goldenball Battle Sage, it is for ages 14 and up, and if it looks familiar on the box, that's because essentially you've seen this blaster before. It is the ZWQ or ZWQ War Saint. Yeah. So you knocked off a ZWQ War Saint and called it a Battle Sage. All right. Question is, does it perform well? And we shall see. We're going to change views here really quick. I'm going to open up this box and we're going to see just what it is that is inside of here. Okay, so nice sturdy box. I like it so far. Now, this blaster, it cost me about $84 when I bought it off of Amazon, and it is from the Airsoft Mega Store. Now, you can find a version that is $78. I believe this one went back up to roughly $98, which is still a lesser price than the actual ZWQ War Saint, which is around $150. Now, the War Saint does perform at around 180 FPS. You can upgrade that thing to hit around 300 easily, but we shall see. Wow, okay. I like the foam molding here. That's kind of neat. All right, it does come with a magazine, and just like the ZWQ War Saint, it is a proprietary magazine. It kind of looks like a Talon, but it is not. It is much fatter than a Talon, but it is half dart compatible. And then, of course, you have your darts here. They look like worker heavies, but they're not. They're almost like a bamboo type dart. Let's get that close to the camera, where you can actually see the seared edges there. That's the latest trend lately, is I guess charred darts. There's something about aerodynamics with it. I can let some of the experts out there, like Chris Cartea, explain that more, but hey, whatever works, right? That seems like a decent quality foam head, and good foam. All right. They do remind me of Worker Heavy, those. Then we have the blaster itself. And it looks like some rails that we can attach here. And then there's a bolt here as well, but oh, and instructions. Okay, so the box says Goldenball. This one says ZWQ on here. So why don't you just label it ZWQ? It'd make a lot more sense to do it that way. It does have instructions on how to put it together in Chinese. I guess that there is a there's some translation here in English, but all right. I mean, I guess so. Now, this is a pump action, and it does come with a bolt that you can put here to do some slide priming. I am all about the pump action. That is pretty smooth. And it does have a return spring, which is really nice. You can actually feel it vibrate when you fire it, which is kind of cool. You do have an aluminum barrel here. And what is this right here? A spring-loaded buttstock. Okay. That's kind of nice. It has two little click points here. Let's see, 1, 2. Okay. I like it. You have, of course, a very long tactical rail, and it looks like they have a whole bunch of bolts here that are socketed, so no Phillip or flathead screws. Oh, no, there's one right here for what is a mag release. You push that in, and that's that. Now, I can tell you that there is a Talon magazine adapter for this. Because of the fact that this is a proprietary magazine, you're going to have to buy extra magazines if you want to use this. But knowing that I was getting this, I went ahead and printed out the Talon magazine adapter. So let's go ahead and actually use that instead, which it is right here with a Talon magazine. And that just slips right inside like so. So, which that kind of eliminates the need for the Talon mag release, because that is just push in, friction fit, pull out, And it does have a skinny pusher, so there you go. I know I'm dry firing, that's probably gonna make a lot of you cringe, but whatever, it is fine. It is okay. Now, one of the things that I will tell you about this blaster so far that I can see that I'm not gonna enjoy is this pump grip. It feels a little too small for my hand, and that's okay, you know, to each their own. I'm probably gonna replace this with an actual vertical grip, just because of the fact that it just is probably gonna be more ergonomic for me, and I'm okay with that. I do have a black worker one here, so we're gonna go ahead and put that on and go from there. Okay, so after a little bit of difficulty with nuts and bolts flying all over the place, we actually have our pump grip attached. Let's go ahead and put this back in the little storage spot. That might cause a little bit of rattle, but that way I do not lose my Allen key because I have a habit of doing that. So there we go. That actually is much better. Now you do have this one sight which it's a little loose. I guess there's that. Folds up and down. And then, like I said, you have the long tactical rail. I'm probably going to put some sort of sight here, maybe an optic. You do have a scar barrel, and it looks like this barrel is made to come out. From my understanding, that is just a friction fit barrel. I may get a longer barrel in the future, but who knows? Now, one of the things I will tell you, though, is that this blaster, you can actually put a modified spring in here, but let's test to see how it performs without the spring. The upgrade, and then we'll do the spring upgrade and see how it performs afterwards. But that is it. All in all, I like the way this thing looks. It is kind of neat. Yeah. There is a warning here. This is an electromagnetic acceleration chamber. High temperature hazard. Do not touch. I do what I want. All right. Now you do have a switch here. This is the safety switch. You just twist it to the right, and that activates the safety. Go to the left, action on, and there you go. Of course, this is the side that points towards your target, because that is where the darts are coming out. The mag release, it is just one-sided if you decide to stick with the regular magazine. So if you're a left-handed shooter, you're kind of out of luck, which is what I am, because I'm right eye dominant. Though, technically, I guess... No, that's a kind of a switch. That's a stretch. Yeah. Now, it does have an interesting little logo here that looks like some sort of warrior, a horseback warrior. Okay. I guess that is the War Saint. And it does even have ZWQ on the blaster. So this is the ZWQ War Saint. Why they have it labeled as a battle sage is anyone's guess. I don't know. Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'm reviewing a battle saint, a War Saint. So there we go. I thought it was something new. Now let's take a look at our darts. Let's load them up, and we're going to run through the chronograph next. So as you can see, we got some decent numbers with the chronograph. The 180 to 190 range was with the ZWQ darts, and then of course we had the Dart Zone Bamboo 2s that were popping right around the 210s. I think I maxed out one at 222. So decent boost in performance with the Dart Zone darts. But of course now I am very happy because it is the first time in about 4 to 5 months that I'll actually be able to go outside and actually use the War Saint and do a distance test. We are going to be doing 4 shots, 2 angles using the ZWQ darts, as well as 2 with the Dart Zone darts. I believe that we might get some unexpected results only because the ZWQ darts are a little bit heavier than the Dart Zone ones, which means that they might fly a little bit farther. So we will see. I will tell you though that it is pretty windy outside. Yeah. So these numbers might be a little bit skewed. Please forgive me, but it's sunny and it's not too cold. I want to get outside for the first time in about 4 months and actually do a distance test. All right, so the distance test results, I was impressed. The straight shot, which would not have gotten very much wind, got about 135 feet with the Dart Zone darts and 140 feet with the ZWQ darts. That is roughly to be expected because the ZWQ darts are a little bit heavier, and the heavier the dart, the harder it is for it to actually stop. It's going to fly a little bit farther because it's not as light. What was really surprising, though, it was really windy out there, so we had a steady gusts of about 15 miles an hour. There's a reason why I'm recording this inside instead of outside, is because of how loud the wind noise was. The angled shot, it caught some wind. Normally when you do an angled shot, you're not going to get more than what you're getting from the chronograph. And we got a lot more than what we got in the chronograph, because I recovered the bamboo dart at right around the 245 feet. The ZWQ dart actually flew 270 feet, so closer to 275. So I'll be honest with you, if that is an accurate reading, I can't exactly claim because it is very windy out there. I'm pretty sure they caught wind. I would say though that right around the 230 range would be accurate for the ZWQ dart, and about 210 for the Dart Zone dart. Again, there was a lot of wind, but I don't know if it would have blown it by almost like 70 feet. So there you have it. Now, I promised you that this thing could be upgraded. Just to let you know, here's what we're going to be doing. I actually have the 26N Prophecy, or the 28N Prophecy spring from Worker. That actually fits inside of this blaster. I'm going to slip that in here right now, and we're going to run this through the chronograph to see how much of a power boost we get. I'm not going to necessarily show you me opening it up, because opening this thing up, it might be a little bit of a pain, and I got to figure that out first. So, but you'll see what it looks like when we actually run this through the chronograph. So it was actually the 28N spring. I believe I said 26. So with the 28N spring, as you can see, we got quite an increase in performance. This is now a 250 blaster, and that is with the ZWQ darts. The bamboo 2 darts obviously went above that, but again, you don't really normally run with bamboo 2s when you're actually playing out on the field. 250 though, this hits a good cap. One thing I will go ahead and point out to you is that the prime on it it is a little stiff with that 28N spring. It's smooth in regards to that, but then you hit a little snag here. You have to add that little extra oomph in order to get it to catch. That being said, the bolt is much easier at that point to prime it with. So there you have it. But here are my final thoughts regarding this blaster. You know what? I'm impressed with it. I think that this is actually a really solid blaster. The plastic, it is really strong. I don't feel like it's going to break in my hands, and the shell itself is very firm. Now, I'm going to go ahead and actually point out another blaster that I have that has a clear shell, and that is my Worker Terminator that is up there. One of the things that this blaster has over the Terminator is that the shell is not as flimsy, I should say. It doesn't feel like it's going to break when you actually screw down the blaster. So that's really good. The top prime and the pump grip, it seems much more solid. This seems like a much firmer piece compared to the one that was on the Terminator. Same thing with the priming handle. So that said, I would recommend this over the Terminator hands down. I want to tell you that this blaster is for 14 and up, and yes, definitely 14 and up. It is very powerful. This is not even at the original Nexus Pro levels. It is above that out of the box. So do not put this in the hands of anyone under the age of, say, 13, because they're probably not responsible enough to actually use this blaster, unless, of course, they've actually been playing in Nerf competitions and they know the rules of shooting people with iPro only and not aiming for the face. Now, a couple things I'm going to point out to you about this blaster as well. It does have 2 sling blade attachments, one up front, one on the back, or of course you can utilize some blaster charms. I may go ahead and actually do a sling point there, just because of the fact that that way I can run with this thing and easily just let it drop down to my side and pull out my secondary when I need to. So I'll be honest with you, this is impressive. Now, is it worth the price of admission? You know what? At $150 for the War Saint, I would be hesitant to buy it at first, only because of the fact that, again, it's $150, and there's blasters out there that perform right around this level for much less, but they don't have the clear shell, and it's not as fun, I should say. The big strike that I have against it is that out of the box, you only get the 1 magazine, and yeah, I can't deal with that. It's the magazines, that's where they're going to get you, because they're roughly about $13 to $17 a pop, and you can only get them at M416 blasters. I don't believe you can actually buy those at Out of Darts, and yeah, so you have to wait for overseas shipping. Not a fun time. Not a fun time at all. So, with the file that you can actually download, and I think it's cost me $1 off of Frontline Foam, you can actually 3D print this. Monkey Mods actually sells it as well, but if you have access to a 3D printer, you don't have to wait 2 weeks in order for it to arrive, and you don't have to worry about paying an exorbitant shipping cost from China. So I highly recommend just biting the bullet if you have a 3D printer, paying the $1 over to Frontline, and downloading that file and printing it out, because, again, it works, it's friction fit, and there you go. You know, obviously we all want to be able to just, you know, do a gravity drop, but for something that's 3D printed, it's very hard to find that. Now, this blaster, is it worth the price I paid for it? Heck yeah! Heck yeah it is, because you know what? $80. What does that put that in range of? That puts it in range of the Mark 1.2, and the 1.2, you're getting about 200 FPS out of the box, so yeah, and just feels like it's not going to break. This buttstock, unlike the 1.2, that is easily broken when you actually put a stronger spring, this holds. This is not going to break when you brace it against your shoulder. I know, because my Mark 1.2, that actual folding stock broke when I put an upgraded spring on there. And that spring only hit 270. This is hitting 280s, and there you have it. So I would take this over the Mark 1.2 any day of the week. And it's pretty much the same mechanism. It's just your typical pump grip, your pump action springer, and there you have it. So that is my final thoughts. On Amazon, go ahead and actually look up the Airsoft Megastore. You know, this is the S100 War Saint, or the Battle Sage, whichever you want to call it. It is the same thing. I want to thank you all for watching Secondhand Blasters. Until next time, keep on blasting.